What's up, YouTube? This is Big Mike. Um, I've made some videos recently saying I'm back or whatever. Then I disappear for a month or two, and you know, I used to be a guy who regularly uploaded on YouTube. Um, I guess the only way I can explain it is I sometimes feel like I'm repeating myself when I make videos recently. Like I'm not really putting out quality content. So it's like that's part of it. Another part of it is when you go on a long time without uploading or making videos, sometimes you just forget. I don't want to say forget how to make videos, but um, you grow out of the habit of making videos. And it's gotten to the point where I've receded from being, you know, a guy who was a regular uploader to I got to the point where I'm just like a regular YouTube casual watcher. You know what I'm saying? Like I've just been watching stuff. I've been watching a lot of interviews from WWE, man, from past wrestlers, man. Like it's very interesting if you're into WWE, formerly WWF wrestling from the I say the mid to late 70s through the 2000s, early to mid 2000s, that era. I listened to a lot of interviews, accumulated a lot of knowledge from that uh, genre and those wrestlers in that time period. But, you know, as far as the NBA playoffs right now, I'm kind of jaded, man. Um, those of you who listen to my videos in the past kind of know how I feel about the NBA. I think the NBA is rigged to a certain extent. And no, it has nothing to do with Golden State in particular winning. It's just that when you watch these games over a period of years, you see the same nefarious actions occurring. And then somebody can refute me by posting like, "Well, look, Houston has shot more free throws over a period of time than Golden State." I never said that the series is rigged for Golden State. You got to go on a game by game basis, and you see certain things. The last game, for instance, between the Houston Rockets and Golden State, Houston got out to a commanding lead after the first quarter. It looked as if though Houston might wrap things up. However, this is my take on the NBA. It's a sport, but it's entertainment and it's a business. Number one, it's a business. I can't remember the last time. I might be wrong um, on this one, and it's probably, but I can't remember the last time that there's been a championship series in a conference series that wrapped up before Memorial Day. I've always remembered a Memorial Day game in the NBA, and had Houston beaten Golden State, there would have been no game on Memorial Day. And there's been a lot of interesting games on Memorial Day. One of them that pops in my mind, I believe it was from what year was that? 1999, when Sean Elliott hit that miraculous corner three-pointer against the Portland Trailblazers. Sean Elliott, a fine basketball player in the 1990s for the San Antonio Spurs. If I remember correctly, Sean Elliott had one stint with the Spurs. I think he was traded, very unpopular trade with San Antonio fans. He was traded to the Detroit Pistons, but he came back. Of course, Sean Elliott had the kidney issues. I remember that game from Memorial Day. There was that Memorial game back in 1995 when Rick Smith hit that buzzer-beating jumper against the Orlando Magic. The prior sequence, Penny Hardaway hit like a remarkable three-pointer. My favorite memory, probably from Memorial Day, was from 1993 when Michael Jordan scorched the Knicks for 54 points. Part prior to that, he had possibly the worst shooting game of his NBA career. But anyway, the point is, I always remember a Memorial Day game. So the cynic in me felt as if though something funny is going to happen with this game. There's no way that the Rockets are going to win this game. Now, mind you, the Rockets helped themselves their own demise. They were playing team basketball in the first quarter and in the first half, but then in the second half they were just playing ISO James Harden basketball, which, you know, that's not going to beat Golden State, okay? And I don't know what the fuck happened to Eric Gordon, but every time he fucked up out there, whether it was missed free throws or ill-advised shots in the second half, losing the basketball, errant passes, I kept hearing Kevin Garnett saying in the crowd, "Hell no, trash ass nigga," you know, about Eric Gordon. Like, I just had flashes of Nick Anderson when he kept missing these free throws and shit, man. But like I said, we can't take away. Yeah, there were some non-calls that pissed me off, you know, because I like to see a fair game called, not just whistles being swallowed because Golden State is a powerhouse and you want to extend the series to a 7th game. But you can't say that the refs cost the Rockets the game, because I have to tell you something, man. And I really, truly, sincerely believe this. Yes, Stephen Curry has a slightly higher career 3-point percentage than Klay Thompson. I think Klay is like 43.5%. Klay is like 42.5%. I mean, it's negligible, the differences. Okay, but when it comes to clutch shooting, Klay Thompson is much more reliable than Stephen Curry. All right? To an extent, Klay Thompson is, HQ. I love HQ. Oh, the sound popped up on my phone. To an extent, Stephen Curry is a bit of a front runner. You know, LeBron James gets that moniker and that, you know, sometimes he gets that title or whatever as a front runner, because sometimes when the Cavaliers, or especially I remember with the Miami Heat, they're up by 10 or 12 points or whatever, he would be a little bit of a front runner and start shooting. I think that this year, however, LeBron James has really shaken that image and has been a clutch performer for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I personally think that this is his, offensively, this is possibly his greatest run as a player offensively in the postseason. But getting back to Klay Thompson, this guy is phenomenal, man, as a shooter. I mean, he was phenomenal. Some of the shots he was hitting last night, and it goes back into how Klay Thompson pretty much single-handedly saved the Golden State Warriors a couple of years ago against OKC when they were down 3-1. And he extended that series. What was it? A pivotal game 6, I think. So, Klay Thompson's phenomenal. Stephen Curry, yeah, he's a great shooter. But sometimes when it comes to crucial times, you know, when they really need a bucket in the pressure situations, sometimes his moniker as the greatest shooter is not founded. Okay. I think also with Golden State, now don't get me wrong, Kevin Durant is a phenomenal basketball player. But when Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry stopped deferring to Durant and returned to, I guess, quote unquote, splash brother basketball, that's the team that can bury an opponent in a heartbeat. I mean, the game went from being The Rockets up by 10 or 8 points to being close to being, Golden State up by 9, 10 to being a blowout. I mean, Klay Thompson hit a three-pointer at one point from 35 feet out, all net, and I looked up and the score was like 111-81. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Okay. I still think that, all being all that, I still think the Rockets are going to win tomorrow in Game 7. I have a feeling they're going to win in Game 7. Chris Paul, I understand he has a hamstring problem, and that's why he didn't play. I guess I can excuse that, being difficult playing on a hamstring. But sometimes I just feel like with Chris Paul that he can be unreliable at times. But hopefully he's out there for Game 7 for the Rockets, and we'll see what happens. Now, segueing to Boston, Cleveland, I think we all pretty much agree that if Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward even if Kyrie Irving was out there, but if Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward were out there, this series will be over with. I think this series will be over, okay? The fact that Boston's doing what they're doing and gets to the point they can play a Game 7 against the Cleveland Cavaliers is a phenomenal run, considering that I didn't think this team was going to get out the first round, the Boston Celtics. I think, personally, if Boston were to win this series, that they would make a better opponent and it would give a better fight against whoever comes out the West. They would still lose, in my opinion, to either Houston or Golden State, but they would at least be a little bit more competitive. I think if Cleveland were to come out the East, LeBron would go 3-6 in the finals. Okay, it's kind of a no-brainer. If that Cleveland team from last year, lost 4-1 against Golden State, how in the hell is this team going to beat Golden State definitely, but even Houston, I just don't see it. LeBron James individually, though, offensively, is brilliant. I think personally,